Hello, good evening. I am Dr. Bhupender from Pune University. I am an associate professor in Department of CSC at Pune University. And today, this is the second lecture in the series Linux and Shell Script. That was the course. And today's topic is basic Linux command. In this, we are going to learn a few basic Linux command. So now, first, let's spend some time in seeing the content of our lecture. First, I'll give you a brief introduction of the current lecture, and then we are going to learn more about the commands which are there on your screen, like path variable, manual command, echo, printf, script command, and a command to change the password of your Linux system, uname, who, date, stty, so on and so forth. And yes, we will also try to cover the commands like tar and ggp. And yes, some file handling utility and security permissions that maybe we will try to cover in this lecture, but if it is not covered in this lecture, maybe we will be shifting to the next lecture. And yes, of course, the commands related to management of process and management of disk space, those things we will be covering in forthcoming lectures. And then the commands which are very important for networking, guys. Yes, we will discuss about those commands, and finally we will present the conclusion of our lecture, and I'll suggest you some reference material which you can go through while learning this course. So first, let's understand the objective of today's lecture. So the objective of today's lecture is to make basic Linux command understandable to you guys, and also to tell you something about standard streams which are there in Linux operating system. And yes, the commands which we are going to learn will be basically related to file handling, process handling, disk information, and the networking. And of course, we will be learning more about redirection operation and the pipe operators and the T command. And also we will be learning more about command line editing in Linux shell. So the course outcome of this first unit is like this. The course outcome of this is recall the historical development of Linux and its architecture. This we have already covered in our lecture number 1. And the course outcome of this also includes comprehending the use of standard stream, redirection pipes, and the T command and command line editing in Linux shells. Yes, so we will try to achieve this course objective while we will go through this course. So now let's understand why the Linux commands are important for you. So the fundamental knowledge of these basic Linux command is critical for every person who is deployed on IT duties. Like he might be having the system administrator somewhere, or maybe he is busy in he is deployed in software development wing of a company. Yes, so for those guys, learning Linux and its basic command is very necessary. So learning these commands will empower you to work in all Linux based operating systems, and all these Linux based machines are used in industry, like industry for server, industry which are particularly engaged in cloud computing, and all those industries which are developing embedded systems. So yes, Linux is very important for those people who are working in this Linux based environments. So basically, this lecture focuses on essential Linux commands that are very fundamental, and these commands will help you in navigating and managing the system, navigating between different directory and managing the space on the system and managing the files, managing the file permission, etc. So yes, managing the Linux sessions, managing different directory in your Linux environment. So this lecture is very, very important for your initial understanding of Linux. Okay, so we had also tried to cover this topic in our initial lecture, but here we go again. Path, basically the first command which we are going to discuss is the path. Path is basically not a command basically, but this is a variable. Since this is there in your syllabus in command portion, so I am discussing this here. So path is basically a system defined variable. So what it defines, it indicates, it specifies, it tells the location of all those directories where executable programs are stored on your system. So it tells the shell where the shell has to look for the executable commands. So that is the path. So if I want to access a variable, like in this case, if I want to access a variable like in this case, so this is the variable. If I want to access this variable, so I might have told you in our classes. So if you want to access any variable, you have to use this dollar sign. Right? This dollar sign. So dollar sign is necessary. So here what I am going to do, I am accessing this system defined variable and I am printing the value of this system defined variable by using one more command, echo. This echo command we are going to discuss next. So example, what you have to type on command line, you have to type echo and dollar path. This, keep in mind, this has to be in capital letter. Linux is case sensitive, so if you will type in this in maybe small letter, then Linux will not treat this as a system defined variable. Okay, understood? So okay, now let's proceed further. So next command is man. Man command, it displays the manual pages of each and every command, and it also displays the manual pages of maybe some programs as well. So what is the syntax of this command? You first have to type this man, and then you have to type the name of the command. So in this case, in this example, if I type man ls on the Linux terminal, then what it will give, it will give me the manual page of this ls command. It will tell each and everything about this ls command. First it will give the synopsis of this ls command, uses of this ls command, and how many options I can use with this ls command. So each and everything is defined in that manual page. So if sometimes while working on Linux you want to know how many options I can use with a specific command. Yes, if you want to see, you can use this man command. So this is basically to access the manual page of a particular command. Perfect. So next command is echo. See here, next command is echo. So what echo will do? It outputs the argument which you are going to supply with this echo command. So see the syntax. So here, this is the syntax. Here you will have to write the echo and then you have to write some argument with this command. So once you press enter, this command will display the argument which you have supplied with this. So in this case, see echo, and I have supplied hello world as an argument with echo command. If I will press enter, then what will happen? It will print this hello world on the terminal. So that's it. Now let's understand the next command. Next command is printf command. So you might have studied in C. Printf is basically used to print the data in a specific format. So the printf which you are using in C and printf which you will use in Linux, both of them will function in same manner. So the syntax of this command is you have to type printf, then you have to specify the format and then argument. Why this format is needed? Because this format will treat this argument. This format will specify the type of this argument. If you have supplied some string here, then you have to type the format according to string. If this is an integer, you have to type integer type format here. So in this example, suppose I have typed printf and I have typed some name, and this is the format specified. This India is an argument, isn't it? So this is an argument, but this argument is of string type. Okay, this argument is of string type. So if I want this to be treated as string, I in the option part I have to supply this %s. Similar things are also done in C as well. So I hope this makes sense now. Now let's understand this script. Script command is basically a command which will record all your activity on terminal. If you start this script, and after starting this script, if you are doing some activity on terminal, it will record all those activity. So maybe in future, why you want to record? In future, you want to see where I have made some mistakes, and if you want to debug all those things, yes, sometimes you want to record your activities. So in this case, this command is very handy. So all the terminal session activity, yes, it will record. So by default, this recording will be saved in a file. The name of that file is typescripts. Okay, so yes, if you don't want to store this recording in by default created file, yes, you can specify the name of the file also. So in this case, if I'll write simply script and I'll run this, then any activity which I am going to do on this terminal will be recorded in a file. Name of that file will be typescript. That is the default file where this recording will be saved. But I don't want that default file. I want a file to be created as per my choice. In this case, see this, my session.log. Yes, I want to record all the terminal activity in this file. Yes, I can do. I have to write script and the name of the file in which I want to record the terminal activity. So once you have started this script, system will give you a message. It will tell you that script has started and the recording are being saved in so and so file. And once you want to you are over with the recording, you want to stop this script, you have to type the exit command. Okay, what? Exit command. You have to type that exit command. So this exit will not, after this script, if you will type this exit, it will not exit the terminal, but it will exit you from this script. Okay, so now let's move to the next command. Next command is passwd. This command is used for authenticating a user. How you're going to authenticate a user? By his or her password. So if you want to set a password, if you want to change a password of a user, yes, this command will be used. So you have to type passwd, and if you want to change the password of some specific user, you have to type the name of that user on the system. Sometimes if you don't want to change the password of the other user, but you want to the password of the current user, yes, you simply have to type passwd. That's it. And system will ask, do you want to change the password? It will ask you the current password, and yes, it will ask the new password, and you have to confirm that new password, and that password is changed. Next command is uname. So this uname command basically display the system information. So if your system is Linux or Unix or whatever, maybe CentOS, maybe OpenSUSE, whatever, so you can use this command. It will give you the details. It will give you the system information. Okay. So if you want to use the system information in more detail, use the -a as an option with this command, and it will give you more details. So now let's move forward, and now let's understand this. Now let's understand this. Next command is WHO command. So WHO command, it shows the name of the user who is currently logged on in your system. So the syntax is very simple. You have to just type WHO. Example is same. You have to type WHO and press enter. It will display the name of the current user who is logged on in the system. Next command is date command. So if you want to see the current date and time, so this command is very useful. The syntax of this command, you have to type date and you have to supply some option with this. So in a simple case, you just have to type date and it will give you the current date and time in specific format. Maybe that format, maybe, in a jumbled kind of thing. You want this date command to give time according to your format. Yes, you have to add various format with this. So how that will be done? You have to type date. Okay, then with this in double inverted comma, you have to type plus percentage, and then maybe the capital H if I want to know the hours. Yes, that is there. So yes, in this is how you can add the format specifier also with this command. So once we will be working with terminal, I'll show you these command. Right now my terminal, I'm not going to record the terminal in this video because system is slow. I wanted to show you all these things in terminal also, but maybe once this lecture finishes, in the next lecture I am going to record, I am going to show each and every command on terminal. I'm going to run each and every command on terminal. Okay, and then things will be more clear to you. Next is CD. Next is CD. So this CD command is used to change the current directory. See, in Linux file system, at the top of this you are having a root directory, and inside that root directory you might be having some another directory, and inside that directory you might be having some other subdirectories, and in those subdirectory you might be having some file on which you are currently working. So if right now if you are working in this file, you want to change your location from this file to maybe the root, maybe to other directory. Yes, so in that case this cd command is used. Okay, so this cd command is used. The syntax is very easy. You have to type cd and then the location of the directory where you want to move. So this is the root directory. Root directory is denoted by /. Home directory is denoted by till character. So if you want to move to root directory, so you have to use cd space and then /, then enter. That's how you can move to the home directory. Not home, sorry. You will move to the root directory. If you want to move to home directory, you have to type this. You will move to home directory. Suppose right now you are working somewhere at this directory. You want to move one step up. the command is cd space, then this is the first dot and this is the second dot. That's it. So this command and this, yes, these are also the ways of using the command cd. Then comes this mkdir. Mkdir is basically used to create some directory. So yes, the syntax of this command, you have to type mkdir and the directory name which you want to create. So in this case, example is mkdir and new directory. So if you use this command, it will create a new directory. The name of that new directory you have to supply. So in this case, new directory, this is the name, and the Linux will create new directory if you will use this command. You can create multiple directory also. Using mkdir, you can create multiple directory. Type mkdir, new directory, second directory, third directory, fourth directory. Yes, that's how you can create multiple directory. So the name of these multiple directories are to be separated with white space. Okay, so let's move to the next command. Next command is rmdir. Once you have created, once you have created some directory, you might be interested in removing those directories. So if you want to remove some directory, you have to use this command rmdir. So rmdir will basically remove the empty directory. So the syntax of this, you have to type rmdir and the name of the directory which you want to remove. You can remove multiple directory also. For example, you have typed rmdir. This is your empty directory. This will remove only this single directory. And the condition is that the directory has to be empty. No file should exist in that directory. If the files are existing in that directory, it will not remove that directory. Okay. So if the files are existing or maybe subdirectory exist in your that directory, it will not remove. And yes, next is you can remove multiple directory. The command is you have to type rmdir. Okay, and this is the first directory, this is the second directory, this is the fourth, so on. This will remove first, second, third, fourth. Yes, multiple directory you can remove using rmdir. Now you might be interested in knowing that if the directory is not empty but still I want to remove that directory, what is the command? Yes, you can use option either -r or either -f and then name of the directory. It will remove the non-empty directory also. R means each and every time it will ask you recursively, do you want to remove this directory these days? It will ask you recursively. F means it will not ask you and it will remove non-empty directory as well. Next is ls. ls command is used to list the content of your current directory. Right now, suppose you're working in some directory and you want to see the content of that directory, means how many files are there, how many other directory exist in your current working directory. Yes, you can use ls. So the syntax of this is ls and option. And yes, this will not only give you the content of your current working directory, but if you are interested in knowing the content of some other directory, yes, you can know. Then in that case, you have to supply the name of that directory as an argument with this command. So if you write simply ls, that's it, and press enter. So what it will do? It will give you the content of your present working directory. But suppose you are not interested in knowing the content of present working directory, but you are interested in knowing the content of some other directory. Yes, you can see the content of some other directory as well. In that case, you have to supply the name of that directory, or rather, I should say the whole path maybe absolute or relative path of the directory. Okay, so yes, absolute and relative path, you you have to understand that. So absolute path means whole path starting from the root. Okay, a relative path means suppose right now you are working somewhere else, in that same location some other directory is also there, so simply you have to give the name of that directory, that is the relative path, isn't it? But once the path has to be started from root, that is the absolute path, means the complete path. So this ls command does have various options you can use with this ls command. Let's understand this because this is very very important command, and people will be using very very frequently. This command is of very important importance. Okay, so the first is, if you type simple ls, it will give you simply the name of the subdirectory or the file that exists in this directory. Okay, and if you use some option with this ls hyphen a, suppose I am going to use hyphen a, so what this will do, this will show me the hidden directories as well. Okay, so the directory which the system has, uh, which are there on the system but they are hidden. Yes, if you want to see those directory, you have to use ls hyphen a. So if you want to know the detailed information about each and every file, like the file permission, like the file size, like the group and honor of that file, and the time stamps of that file, yes, you have to use ls hyphen l. So in this way, this will give you the detailed information about each and every content. Okay, each and every content means each and every file directory or whatever there in that your this directory. It will give you detailed information about this. You can combine multiple options. So in this case, ls-l and I had discussed ls-a. Yes, you can combine them using ls-l a. Yes, that is perfectly okay. And then the listing, see, it will give you this listing. Okay, some listing. So this listing of the content, ls will give you the listing of the content. This listing of the content, maybe direct listing of the files directory and anything else, this will be alphabetically sorted. So the directory or file will start with a will come first, will be displayed first, b will next, and z will be the last. So this is the alphabetically sorted. You might be interesting. No, I want to see the directory upon which I was working at this point to be shown in the last. Suppose before executing this ls command, I might be working in on some file. Now, if I'll use ls-la, what it will do? It will alphabetically sort and give me listing of all those files. Then if I want to go to that file and see the content of see the detailed information about that file, what I'll have to do, I have to scroll down or up, isn't it? So yes, this listing I can sort according to time. So ls hyphen l for long listing, t for time, and yes, this will sort this listing according to time. And if I want to sort this listing in reverse order, yes, ltr, that is the command. So these commands will be very handy for you. So I hope that is clear. So okay, now let's move to the next command. So next command is cp. Next command is cp. Cp stands for copy. Okay, so this command will copy the files and the directory to some other destination. Okay, so the syntax is cp. You have to write cp and then you have to write source file name and then you have to write the destination. Yes, destination can be file also, can be folder also. See, this is very important to understand that in CP command, this destination can be a file or can be a directory. Example is CP. This is file 1.txt, and I want to store this file into this backup destination. Yes, that's perfectly okay. Okay, so what this command will do, it will copy this file 1.txt into this backup folder. Now, I want to see rename such file. Yes, that can also be done with CP command. Okay, perfectly. I can't say that is exactly renaming, but that is copying the content, and the content of this file will be stored with other name. Yes, that's how this renaming can be done. CP. So this is my file 1. Okay, so now I want to copy this file into maybe file 2. Yes, so the content whatever you have written in file 1 will be copied to file 2. So this file 2 will be exact copy of file 1, this file. Okay, and that's how the name of this file will be file 2. So okay, so that's how you can do things. Now suppose I want to move this file. Okay, I want to move file 1 in this case. So yes, I can move file also using mv command. Mv stands for moving the file from one location to another location. Okay, so I can use this move old file and new file. So here you have to understand this destination in this case has to be a directory if you want to move a file. In this case also, if you want to exactly rename the file, yes, that can also be done with this. In that case, you have to type new name. So basically, both of these command can be used to rename as well as moving and copying respectively. So I think that's okay. And now let's move to next command. Next is rm. Now, suppose I have created files and I want to remove them. Yes, I can remove using rm command. So rm command basically remove files and directory. So in this simple case, if you're not going to give option, yes, the syntax is rm option and file. But in this case, I'm not going to give any option. Then what it will do? Example rm file.txt, what this command will do, this command will remove this txt file. So the thing is that if you want to remove some file, that file has to exist in your system. And yes, you can remove directory also. Rm -f, and yes, you have to use some options if you want to remove directory, else this remove command will not remove the directory. Okay. Then next command is cat command. Cat command is used to concatenate two files. Okay, and this also is used to create the files and enter the text into that file. This will also use to display the file content. Okay, so first I want to create a file using cat. Yes, I can use this command cat, and using redirection operation, and then maybe file 1. What this command will do, it will create file 1 and it will open that file so that that file can accept input from you. You have to write into that file, and you have to write into that file, and then you can save that file using control D and come out. If you want to see the content of that file, you simply type cat. This time you don't type this redirection operator, you type this name file 1, and the content of this file 1 will be visible to you. Now if you want to concatenate two files, yes, you can use cat command for that also. So yes, we will cover one more command, and then remaining command we will be covering in the next lecture. More command. Okay, as I said, we wanted to cover one more command. So next command is itself more. Okay, so more command is used to view the file content one screen at a time. So if you have a file, the content of that file, maybe that file is having 1,000 lines. So if you will use cat command to display the content of that file, it will it will give you, it will display all the contents in one go. Then if you want to read that file from starting to end, you have to scroll up and down. But sometimes that is very tricky. You don't want to do that. Yes, in that case, if the files are very long and the content of those files doesn't fit in one screen at a time, yes, you can split that file into different pages, and one page, one screen at a time you can see. The command is, the syntax of the command is more and the file name. In this case, more and file text txt. So if that file .txt is having maybe that much content which is not visible in one screen, yes, you can use this command. So if you want to move to next page, you have to type tab space, not tab space, you have to type that space tab. Okay, and if you want to move back one screen, yes, you have to type b, you have to press b, and then you will be, that's how you will be navigating between different pages or different screens. Okay, the next, yes, we will cover this also, word count. WC command is used to count the lines, words, and characters in a file. So the syntax is this, WC and the file name. Example is WC file1.txt. What it will do, it will give you output. The output will be, first will be the line numbers, second will be the word, how many words are there in that file, third will be how many characters in that file, and then the file name, that will be the output. So if you are having multiple file, yes, you can pass multiple file as an argument, and it will give you line, word, and character count in respect of each and every file. And at the end, it will also give you some of the lines, some of the words, and some of the characters. Totaling will also be given to you. Okay. So I think till here we have covered. Now we have to we have to uh, uh, move to the conclusion section. See this. So in this we have covered almost 20 commands. Okay, so almost 21 commands. So we have covered various file handling utility in this. Those file handling utility like copying the content of file, manipulating files in directories, and commands like cp, mv, rm, ls, and more. These things we have covered in this. In next lecture we will cover this disk utility, and yes, in next lecture we will also try to cover this file permission, process utility, and networking commands. These are very important commands. And yes, this is again very important for you to understand. So these are the references that you can go through. The first is the books, and second I'm going to discuss about this online contents that you can refer. The books such as the Linux command line by William Short, yes, you can use that book. and might be that book will be there in your library. Linux for beginners, yes, that's also a good book by Jason Cannon. You can refer that book as well. Linux command line and shell script bible, yes, this is very big book. But yes, if you want to refer, yes, you can see more, and you can refer this book as well. And there are some online tools, online websites that can help you in your learning journey of Linux. So first itself is this linuxjourney.com. Then yes, this Linux documentation project, you can go through this website, and you can learn more about the command line utilities. And then linuxcommand.org, this is also one website. Yes, you can go through this. And then various free Linux courses are also offered by Linux Foundation. The web link of this is there, training.linuxfoundation.org. You can go through this website, and yes, you can opt for various online courses from Linux Foundation. And yes, this finally, this How to Geek. This is also a good website to learn Linux. And yes, with that, thank you so much. And I wanted to cover all these commands simultaneously using terminal as well. But yes, let's see in next lecture. My system is okay. I'll cover this with you. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Good night.